JR, how many points did you have?
0.
Get out. Tristan Thompson, get out.
For what?
This for Cavs players only. Get out.
I play for the Cavs too.
How you play for the Cavs, but you had 0 points? Get out! You're not open! You're a free agent now! Leave your ring.
I got this last
Leave your ring! Ain't no Cavs player.
I can't be the only one that think Invincible is not tough. I'm heavily messing with season 4 right now. It's been going crazy.
So yeah, we back.
So we start off with an initiation day for these 6 Viltrumite kids, as Nolan's teaching these kids about their heritage, about being a Viltrumite and being egoless as fuck, because these niggas really hate everybody. These are the type of niggas that almost wipe out their own clan if you're weak. So as young army man is starting to teach the class, went up to this little girl to ask her about the Great Purge. She was dumbfounded by the question. So my man Nolan walks up to this little girl, grabs her by the head, firmly grasping her skull. Alright, little nigga, you better get this question right before I squeeze your head like a pulverizing strawberry. And you know this nigga Nolan was dead ass serious because he was about to crush this little girl's head. And you might think the kids were terrified. Hell nah. It was time to die the hell out of this girl. Can I get this question wrong? I got a nail appointment. So by the grace of God, she finally clutched up and got the answer correct. So as we think that everything is just holding and dally, Nolan starts to tell these little niggas, y'all better go find some shelter and bring a weapon too, cause one of y'all might not make it back. So you telling me these little demon spawns was on go with this? I'll be damned to be born in the Viltrumite world. So as these little Viltrumites went to go search for food and shelter, and ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you because we get to meet Papa Bear and Mama Bear. Oh yeah, little nigga, you must forgot what day it is. So scrap up and put your hands up. So Nolan begins to weed both his parents' attack, gave her the most devious left hook, and his daddy just started putting the beats on him, blocking both his attacks, and just straight up caved this man's chest in, leaving him in critical damage. But out of both parents, the one to have the most hatred was his damn mama. Because she starts to hit the Viltrumite signature move, slicing this man's chest up, leaving it clean cut, and then ramming her knees into his face. But oh no, we was far from being done from there. Because his mama caught this bitch back from the heaven gates and comes flying full charge into this man's guts. So as Nolan is in critical damage right now, this nigga is stun locked for the time being right now. Oh boy, his parents did the most devious things to ever done to him. Sending a full barrage of just jumping and punching, coming with 2 punches from different sides, and his dad grabs by the neck and giving the most nastiest head bump. So we know Nolan couldn't stay any longer, giving this man a messed up face. But as we think it's all wrapped up and done, his mama just stare at him.
I'm not finished.
And just start full rushing, laying a blow of punches on this man. But after minutes feel like hours, he finally got the upper hand to kick a rock into his mama's eye. But then comes with a shuriken right to her face. But after that whole carnage, I want to give y'all a good laugh, because I want y'all to peep this. Cause Nolan's mom came flying back and his daddy just smacked her out the way.
Hey, that's your man. Hey, that's your man.
So Nolan throws a fist, but his daddy catches it with his hand, catching his dad by the neck, and his dad was pleased by the devilish in his eyes. But the mama sidelining Nolan all the way to the stairs. But I know she couldn't let it go after getting smacked up by your son and husband and almost losing an eye. So she begins to curb stop her own son, followed by a barrage of punches, taking both her hands and bringing it down. But she was far from being done because she kept going, and Nolan was out for commission. But as Nolan's trying to surrender, she moves his hand and comes down with a punch, carving his man's face in. But the mama wasn't over. She just kept coming with more punches, and thank the Lord that the dad finally steps in. It's alright, baby girl, he had enough. She was going for none of that. And this is where we finally learned that she has no care or awareness about her son or husband.
You're as pathetic as he is. I hope to never see either of you again.
I know this shit is hurting them deep down in their chest after their mother said that. But anywho, on to the next scene. So as Mark and Alan are chatting up, as Ted Jacob pops up asking about her senses going off. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of fucking with the new character that they introduced to us. Alan's girlfriend starts to tell us ain't nothing unusual going on with our senses, but they get hit by an unknown force, so they got to separate the ship, and they go out to go save Oliver and the army man. Everybody starts to take off from the ship as it explodes right behind them. But then we peep everybody outside. So Mark goes on to find his little brother Oliver, but then we peep that Oliver was still inside the ship. Must have been confused and not to know what was going on. But after a long search, he finally found his little brother Oliver just floating in space.
Oh man.
Goes over to Oliver, finally waking his sorry ass up as Ted Jack and the island flies over. But then we peep the real niggas pull up. But hold on, nigga, ain't you supposed to be dead?
How the fuck did he not die?
I can tell there was pure terror in their eyes. Are you telling me I gotta fight this nigga again? So the Viltrumites took off as Oliver follows right behind them. So Mark gets snatched up by Steve Harvey as it pans to Alan weaving a Viltrumite coming in.
Damn, he really about to rock my shit.
But then we get Tet letting shots off, trying to be a good defense support, but starts missing all her shots. We pan over to Oliver going in to attack Conquest, but he catches the meanest backhand. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not even surprised at this point. Oliver starts to weave 2 attacks coming from Conquest, give him a good liver punch, and start breaking his rib in just 6 different places. It started to look good for a second until Conquest grabbed this man by his head. Oh, I know you remember me, Pick Squeak. Let's see how your head feels when I squeeze into a bunch of tomato sauce. And we thought this was gonna be the end for Oliver, but who comes in to save Army Man? We pan over to Mark still fighting Steve Harvey, grabbing this man by the shoulder and then kneeing him in the face, knocking him back just to go check on his brother. Alan's still getting cooked by one of these Viltrumites, but then Tech Jacket comes in to save him and still missing her shots. So Alan pushes Tech Jacket out the way of an attack, blocks, and punches this random. We pan back to Conquest and Army Man giving her their best. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy killing you, almost taking out your little precious boy, and then give him the meanest headbutt that he can never forget. Conquest tried to come up for the attack, but Mark saves him. I'll be damned for Conquest to talk about my girl like this, so Mark rushes in, grabs that nigga, and start going crazy on Conquest, giving him a bunch of punches to his face. This man is enjoying this fight a little too much. He likes to get hit, but we isn't done from here. Mark started dropping elbows on Conquest. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 2 elbows. But we pan back to Alan still fighting this with nobody. This random was paying Tech Jacket no bind. Hits a hezzy and flies straight to Tech Jacket's cranium. But then Alan comes in for the save. We pan right back to Oliver again, still getting whooped. But finally Oliver decided to lock in and hit this man with a spinning heel kick. But I don't know why Oliver keep thinking he's the big 3, and this man's finna get cooked, but he Goomba stops Steve Harvey. Alan is still fighting this random, but gets blasted in the process. But then we proceed to see these niggas called backup. They start shooting at everybody, and then Oliver gets caught off guard. Oliver's about to get cooked, but his dad saved him. We see this little nigga could have reached so his dad is Shrek go to a nearby planet. So as Mark and Conquest are still fighting, he peeps Oliver leaving the battle, so he decides to rush Mark and bungee jump off this man's body.
To jump out his body, twerk in the air, then jump on it.
So as Oliver flies over to the planet to catch his breath, and let me be the first one to tell you, there was nothing that could be stopped from right here. Do y'all not see this frame? This was the most beautiful shot I ever seen. It brought tears to my eye. So as we thought Oliver was gonna meet his demise, his brother comes in for the save. We pan over to Mark, and this nigga got Conquest by the neck. And he tells him, oh yeah, I'm finna make sure you don't breathe again. So Conquest finally gets to fighting back against Mark, punching this man all up in his ribs, still got this man by the neck. And Mark really stand on that he's never gonna breathe again. Crashing through rocks, and as the smoke clears, really try to choke this man out for real. Like I said, little nigga, I'm about to squeeze every inch of your life. It starts dragging Conquest between every rock and mountain. This nigga's not even trying to fight back at this point. This man Mark was really not trying to let this man go. This nigga Mark starts to squeeze harder against Conquest's neck. Mark is starting to become more Viltrumite than human. He started to be not floating and starts squeezing harder. So Conquest gets up and flips Marks on his back. But that didn't look like a good idea because he starts squeezing a little bit harder. So Conquest deliberately starts giving Mark body shots. You can see the anger in this man's face, and then Conquest gave him a face punch and starts to strike Mark with more devious punches and begins to squeeze more as we see Conquest's eyes rolling back. Conquest is really trying to get Mark off of it, deliberately dragging this man into more rocks, and bro, Mark is not letting go of this man. He really wants this man's head. And then we start to see some more crazy shit, like this is like a splitting headache. Conquest starts giving out more body shots to Mark, and this man spits out blood. We get a close-up on Conquest's face, and it's not looking too good for him. This man starts to look like a fish out of water. We see Conquest finally got the upper hand on Mark. But oh man, why didn't Conquest learn from the last time? Because as soon as Mark regained his strength, he bites into this man's finger.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
So Oliver comes in flying in, trying to look for his brother Mark. Umber Man comes out of nowhere asking Oliver where's his brother at. So they start to hear Mark in the distance and flies over to where he's at. Back to Conquest, and he started to slowly fade away. So what other option Conquest got to do? Charge up his hand and punches through Mark's guts. Give him the same treatment that Eve had. While his hands in his gut, Mark still got a grip on this man's neck. So Mark finally got Conquest to the ground. This man is disgusting. He starts to rip out Mark's intestine, and this man continues to keep on going, ripping this man like a piñata. And you can see the dreaming out of Mark's face after struggling with this. But we get a close up on Conquest's eyes, and this man starts to fade out, putting an end to Conquest's terror. And after during that whole fight that felt like hours, Almond Man and Oliver finally arrived to where Mark was standing at, watching their hopeless brother and son on the ground with his intestine out.
What the fuck? No!
And with that coming to the end of Conquest's terror, we will have to wrap it up. I hope y'all enjoyed this video I made. Make sure to stay tuned to another drop from me. And my name is Roshi, signing off. Peace.
Okay, last time I was key. Breathe in, nigga, breathe out. Mama, show me how you free. Nigga, music, melatonin, go to sleep. When I take it down like I wouldn't see. When I take it down like I ain't me. Put it back up in the same week. Cloud 9,